I am Jerome Etienne, and today I will speak to you about augmented reality. I'm passionate about it, and especially web augmented reality. So what is web augmented reality? What is augmented reality? Picture is better than words, so here, below, you have Blade Runner, and you have a wonderful hero looking at a very big hologram. He has no device on the head, no device on the hand. Everything is working well. Well, that's cool, but that's Hollywood, unfortunately. So this is what augmented reality could be. We would like it to be like that. For Hollywood, that's special effect for the real world. And that's a good definition of augmented reality. You augment reality by adding information on top of it. So let's see what LuckW has to say about this. This is a possible application of what augmented reality could be or would be in the future. So check review. Suppose you are in a shop and you see a lot of product on the shelf. You take your phone, you point the phone at the product, and suddenly you see the review from your friend, the review from other people on the web, on the internet. Suddenly, you make a more knowledgeable choice about your purchase and better use of your money. Another one, suppose you want to wash some clothes and you have a tag on your clothes. Most of the time, it is quite cryptic and you do not understand. It would be great if I can point my phone at this tag, and suddenly it is explained to me in plain words. Once again, I avoid the error rate. So this is nice. This is a dream. This is what reality will be in the future. But let's see about what it is today. And today, at least for me, augmented reality can be done in 10 lines of HTML. So this is quite important, first because this is 10 lines, and second because this is HTML. Let me explain why. So this is what you see on the screen is a basic example of ARjs. So you have only 10 lines of HTML. There is a basic script here, body, any web dev can do it. And if you do this wonderful example, you will have this result. So a basic cube on top of a marker. This is a very basic example because this is only 10 lines, but you can build significant application in a very little line. This is the point. Here, let me come back to this one. This is important because this is 10 lines, so 10 lines is short. So you can learn and cut-paste that somewhere. And this is HTML. So that means anybody on the planet, anybody who is a web developer, can do this. This is short and simple to understand, and any web developer can do it. This is definitely a point. Here you can see Alexandra, my wife, doing that inside CodePen. So you take this basic example, you paste that into CodePen, and suddenly you can do augmented reality on the left. Augmented reality is easy with ARjs. At least I try to make it easy. Let me show you this video that we used in order to have Wi-Fi. No, we have Wi-Fi. So here you have a marker with nothing on top. And if you look at the marker through the phone, you have the augmented reality. You can move around. This is 60 FPS. So it works even on old phones, very important. Full open source. And based on web standard. We will see all the advantage of those features in the talk. And don't forget, have fun with augmented reality. It's fun enough. Okay. Let me try to increase. Okay. So when I did ARjs, what was in my head is several things. First, I wanted to realize my dream about AR. meaning that for circumstantial reason, I had a lot of free time, and I wanted to build AR as it should be, WebAR as it should be. So I use 100% of my free time to do that. And, but in my head, when I did that, it was a lot like being a duck. Let me explain why. When I did this project, yes, I forgot to say it's open source. So I had to look composed and unruffled on the surface, but below, I had to paddle like hell, because this was an open source project, so I did that with my two hands. And under the hood, I had a lot of responsibility. I had to do fixing bugs. I had to do testing. I had to improve the accuracy of the camera tracking, so augmented reality accuracy. All of this software engineering stuff. This was longer than grateful, let's be honest, but it was needed, so I did it. But yes, so I was alone, two-hand, I was doing all the design, all the architecture, all the code, working 10 hours a day, not making a penny because I happened to be unemployed, but good for the free time. That's the point. But for me, ARjs was to realize my dream, to make AR as easy as possible, because I believe it has to be easy. So let's look deeper on what is ARjs. First, the mission. The mission of ARjs is to bring AR to the web, or to make WebAR a reality. So for that, I wanted to make ARjs very fast, web-based, open source, and relying on standard. Those are the principles I try to apply. So first, very fast. Why it has to be very fast is because when you do augmented reality, basically you need to have that at 60 FPS or close. If you do that at 4 FPS, this is boring and this is not moving well. So it's not immersive. You already know that's a trick. If you are at 60 FPS, this is a lot better for everybody. So when I took it, it was 4 FPS on an high-end phone. And right now, this is 60 FPS, even on a 2-year-old phone. Additionally, ARjs is web-based. What does this mean? This means this is full JavaScript, and this is a pure web solution. It has strong consequences when you are on a phone. When you are on a phone, you don't want to install application. This is not something you like. All statistics show that to install application is really something that people don't want to do, and the more it goes with time, the less install applications. So to be pure web is very nice. Additionally, it is relying on standard. This means that any web browser can, with WebGL and WebRTC, can do ARjs. There is no need for specific API, or a specific application. A modern web browser is enough. This means that ARjs work on Android, Windows Phone, on iOS. So basically, every phone on the planet. It's good. Now you know how it all started. But what happened after the beginning of ARjs? Well, 2017 has been a big year for augmented reality. And at the middle of the year, in June 2017, Apple announced ARKit. So what is ARKit? This is markerless tracking. Markerless tracking means that you can take your phone. You don't need to print a marker and to look at the marker. You switch on your phone, and you can have augmented reality right there in the middle of the street. ARKit as well as something we call it testing. So it testing is the phone is able to understand the topology of the world, meaning is able to detect the plane on the ground, is able to detect the table, and you can put augmented reality on the table, on the ground, whatever. Another interesting aspect is ARKit is available on monocular camera. We will see more about what is a monocular camera. My bad. So ARKit, when it has been announced, it was really, really, really big for augmented reality. It was a bomb in the AR world. Why? Because augmented reality was by default on the phone in your pocket. Before ARKit, to have augmented reality, you needed to have a specific device on your head, a specific phone. But with ARKit, you got augmented reality by default. There is no need for anything else. So ARKit was the very first step for a massive user adoption. All that thanks to the monocular camera support. Everybody was rightfully impressed. And in August 2017, Google replied with AR Core. So 2 months after that. And for all normal purposes, AR Core on ARKit are very, very similar from a feature point of view. But it was very good from augmented reality ecosystem because before Apple had a monopoly, and suddenly they didn't have it anymore. We had Google and Apple collaborating, competing with each other. It's very important. Google is, with Android, 88% of the worldwide market, and iPhone is 12%. But to have both of them competing with each other is good for the ecosystem. Diversity and competition is healthy for the user and the ecosystem as a whole. Another advantage with this announcement of AR Core is Google exposing augmented reality to the web. AR Core on ARKit are native API. It's not something that you can easily reach from the web. Because Google is so very keen of the web, they built 2 applications in which they expose AR Core ARKit to a web browser. Those applications have a sweet name of WebAR on AR Core and WebAR on ARKit. You can feel that's an engineer kind of word. So what are those applications? WebAR on AR Core is a Chromium modified to read AR Core and expose that to Chromium. WebAR on ARKit is reading ARKit and is exposing that to an iOS web view. What is interesting from the WebAR point of view is they expose AR Core on ARKit with the exact same API. So when you build your AR application on the web, you need to build it only once, and it will work on those 2 applications, on AR Core, on iOS, on AR Core, on ARKit. Let's look at some example. So this is an ARKit application, but you can build that in whatever. I have a bunch of videos, so I hope we're going to have Wi-Fi. Apparently not. Come on, be nice with me. He's not nice with me. So this is a wonderful application in which you can throw a stick, and you got, I'm trying again. Come on. That would be a very sad talk if I don't have. Okay. Apparently YouTube doesn't go through anymore. So let me comment on the picture. So what is ARKit Pet? So basically you have a very cute dog, and you throw a virtual stick to this virtual pet, and he go fetch and come back. The video is very cute, and I'm evilly sad, very sad. Okay? All right. We're going to try some more. Here, it's another video. Let's try this one. Oh, this one is working. I don't get it. Okay, cool. Let's be happy about it. So this one is a portal. So here they are in England, and they see an augmented reality door, meaning that's a portal to another reality. Through this, you see San Francisco, and you see San Francisco through the portal. But you can now walk through this wonderful portal, and yippee, you are in San Francisco. The birds are in 3D. You're in San Francisco, you can look around and be in San Francisco, you can recognize the bridge, and you see the portal, and you're back in England. The fastest way to travel. Okay, let's be hopeful on the video stuff. This other video is interesting for the realism. All those drones flying around look quite immersive. I mean, you don't see them as, I don't know, too much 3D, because the 3D use something called PBR, which make it very realistic. When you do augmented reality, obviously, it's very important to be as realistic as possible. This way, you are a lot more immersive. Here, those are AR kit. Apparently, this one is an AR core. But all those demos can be done on AR core and AR kit. So after AR core on AR kit, what should we do with ARjs? Well, we made ARjs evolve. Since we ported that to Frame API, we ported that as well to Babylon, so you can use ARjs with Three.js, Frame on Babylon.js. It supports ARKit on AR core too. So this is quite good because, let me explain. So my kitchen, I'm not sure about that. What is interesting here is when you do an application with ARjs, you can support every tracking possible. We have your ARjs application, and you are on an AR core device, ARjs will use AR core tracking. If you are on an iOS device, it will use ARKit tracking. And if you are on a normal phone, which is not supporting AR core and ARKit, it will use pure web tracking. So ARjs will provide the best tracking available on your device, no matter the device you have. What is nice about this is when you build your application, you don't need to build one application for AR core, another for ARKit, and another for the other phones. You have a single application which supports all the available tracking. You write your application once, and it will run on every platform. Here is another example. YouTube. Twitter is working, but YouTube is failing. What? OK, this one is working through. So this is in my apartment. And when you do augmented reality, it is, let's say, a tradition to do Hatsune Miku. I'm not sure why. So this one is Hatsune Miku dancing in my apartment. It has been done on Tango device. And you can see, you can be close, you can hear us sing, you can see my cat. This one is real. And yeah, I have 2 cats if you want to laugh more. This is my first video of ARjs with AR core. Yes. Not very impressive, but as it is my first demo. So it's basically a cube floating in the air inside my apartment. So what can you do with ARjs? One thing that I like to do is refraction. Because when you do augmented reality, one thing you absolutely need to do is to merge the virtual and the real. Meaning that you want anything that you add to the real world to appear as real as possible. So one aspect that I did is refraction. OK, cool. So refraction is interesting because here you have obviously a big torus. This big torus is obviously not real, but I did it in such that you see through. It appears as a glass. So you see through the 3D. This way, the 3D seems a lot more included into the real. So you see, and after that, you can see my wife at the end. So you see through, and you can see the 3D And suddenly it's become a lot more real. Yes, here we go, that's the end. It is rather simple to do. This one is when you do augmented reality, you like to do something magical as well. Here, this is a marker on my table, but I use some 3D tricks to make it appear as inside a hole. That's an effect called hole in the wall. So you use some 3D tricks. This way you believe that this is included inside the table, but obviously it is not. And after that, I'm no 3D expert, 3D as in a modeler expert, so I do stupid models like a rubber duck. If you are a model guy, contact me, please. Oh, so this one is a version of the portal, another version, but this one is done by ARjs. Yes, YouTube is working again. So this one is on marker, but you can use, obviously, the same thing for ARKit Aircore. Hop, we go through. Suddenly, we are in another world, but still, we see the real world through the portal. And we're going to come back on every time you switch from a world to the others. That's like a bridge between two worlds. Oops. Here we go. That's a fun that I have on my desk. So which kind of other application can you build? Now we got WebAR. This is good because you can build application on any mobile phone. But cool, which kind of application do you want to build? Because you got tracking, you do portals, you do drone, but it's not really useful. So you can do AR gaming. So AR gaming, obviously, you may have heard of Pokemon Go. That's one. Another one is, for example, this game. Those games has not been done by ARjs, but you can definitely code them with ARjs if you have the time on the internet. This is on PS Vita, so they use marker in order to interact with the game. So you move your marker on the table, it moves the object, and you see the laser game. So there's laser being, I don't know how you say that, projected, or you destroy stuff like that. In short, your markers are a new way, a new input. So this is a laser game. Let me show you other games. This one is a race. It's a race track after the ad. Right? Okay. So this was interesting because this is dynamic. So you move the marker around and you change the shape of the track. Another game, for example, when you, yes, is doing that. Virtual pet, but another way. So you can see that the pet is following you when you are moving the marker around. Or, I don't know, Area 51 version. Right. Inside, you already dreamed about it. Probably not. Okay? So when you do that, for example, so we have seen games or stuff like that, there is one good application that you can do is education. Because suppose you are in a school, you put a marker inside your book, and instead of reading a sentence like, I don't know, such a king conquers such a country, you can actually do an animation, something funny, which can entertain the kid. This way, the kid will be less bored, which happens quite often when you are doing school. So it's a very good way to contact the kids, yeah. So that's an example. And so you can see some markers, and you see an animation directly on top of the book, which is obviously much more entertaining. You got this one, and so you can use augmented reality, for example, in the industry. It has been shown that with a proper headset, If you are in the industry, you'll reduce quite significantly the error rate. So it's definitely interesting. You can use it for commerce and e-commerce as well, or you can use it for medical training. That's another one. So all in all, augmented reality right now needs better application. We have the tracking, which is good. You can produce good augmented reality on any phone. You don't need to have the latest iPhone or the Google Pixel and so on. You can start to build your augmented reality today, and you need to be highly creative. That's what we need at the moment. And we're not going to have questions, so that's the end of my talk. Apparently, I completed recently. Thank you.